I went to see 3 films at the cinema today, so let's talk about them. Welcome back if you are new here. Welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel as well as movie content every week. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above in case you are looking for something to watch this week. Yes, I went to see 3 films in the cinema today. Let's talk about the second film that I saw, which was Mother's Pride. Mother's Pride is a British film set around a failing pub in a small village, which is a family-run pub, and not only is the pub failing, but the family's kind of failing too. It's got a very sort of full Monty-esque feel about it, and even includes Mark Addy in it, who was obviously amazing in the Full Monty, apart from the fact that it's not set in the north, it's set in the south, set in Somerset, I believe. And we have James Buckley from The Inbetweeners is in this one, as well as Martin Clunes, who I thought was absolutely amazing in Wuthering Heights, best thing about Wuthering Heights. And so it was interesting seeing him in a more mellow role again. So this one has, lovely, obviously, scenes of the English countryside, and it's 3 generations of one family here, so it was really nice to sort of see that representation. James Buckley being a single father and Martin Clunes being a widower, and that's sort of a key point. That's where the Mother's Pride name of the beer, name of the film comes from. And so they're both single fathers in a sense, so that kind of unites them. And then there's the other brother or the other son, if you like, who is involved as well. And then of course, in a very British sense, there is also a rival pub and a beer competition, and that's basically what you need to know about this one. There were some really sweet moments in this one. There is great healthy discussion around mental health, which I thought was fantastic, and particularly male mental health, which you do see in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler, and I'm not sort of saying where that ties into the storyline or anything, but it was really good to see that on the big screen, particularly in a British film. I think there's that whole like British stiff upper lip thing, and male mental health here is still more taboo than it maybe is in other countries, and so it was really good seeing that represented on screen. The representation that I didn't like so much on the screen, which initially I thought, I was like, oh, this is great, is son number 2 gets picked up from the train station in a taxi, and she turns around to him and she's like, oh yeah, I'm pansexual, and that means basically just like I'm up for anything. And I was like, oh, we've already got the introduction of this, which again you don't see much representation of in particularly British films, and I was like, oh brilliant, we're going to have this representation in this film. But then they played into the whole stereotype of people who are not heterosexual being overly promiscuous, because she kind of like leads in this kind of mini side storyline of dogging, and it's kind of, she's just portrayed as this sort of, literally when she says that she's up for anything, it's always posted as, oh, I'd do that, or I'd do that, or I'd do him, or I'd do them, and like the mother being like, oh, of course you would, of course you would, of course you would, which I don't know, like I shouldn't be left thinking about that as one of the things that I watched in the film, but that was just one of those things that was just like, oh really, did you have to like do that? I don't know, that just kept sort of stuck with me a little bit, but yeah, it was really nice, like I say, seeing Martin Clunes do a different role again, having absolutely loved the like horrible person that he played in Wuthering Heights, that he did so well. Definitely like a highlight of Wuthering Heights for me. But yeah, he was this sort of slightly trying to do his best or not trying to do his best guy who, really does stand up for his family, but really is a grumpy old man as well. And then, yeah, his 2 sons. And there was just some really lovely heartwarming moments in it. Had a little tear, didn't have like a full-on cry, but there was 2 points that gave me a little tear and a little bit of a emotion. I think there's, you know, always things with parents dying like get to me anyway, but then there was some nice moments where like nice things happened to nice people. I thought Mark Addy's character provided great comedy relief, and the actress who played James Buckley's character Jake, his daughter, was unsure in the beginning if she'd be a bit annoying, but actually she was really good too, and her character was quite a sort of cohesive device in the film as well, which I thought was really nice. Yeah, it was just a sweet film, definitely very British humour and very British film with a very British setting and very British beer. You know, people, there was a brilliant moment where a couple came in and asked for 2 lager tops, and the guy was like, well, if you want cocktails you can go somewhere else, which again, it's very early on in the film. It's not a major spoiler. It doesn't relate to any plot points, but I just thought that was a great, like, grumpy British landlord type of thing to say. Should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one? I don't think that this needs a trip to the cinema to go and see it. I don't think you have to go and see it on the big screen. I don't think you have to see it for the sound and the music and the like big screen. However, I think it would be like a nice sort of, you know, grown-up children and parents trip to the cinema, or perhaps like a couple trip to the cinema. I think, you know, it would provide a little, like, it would be a safe film to go and see with parents. However, I think you could wait for this one on streaming, but it's definitely worth a watch. As always, if there is another film that you would like me to go and watch next week and bring my thoughts to you here, please do let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future movie reviews coming your way. But with that being said, I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching. Woo!